Social loafing occurs when individual in a group exert less effort than they would then when working alone. A group conform to a single dominant opinion. Employee engage in excessive social interaction at work. Group members become overly competitive with each other. Social loafing is when one members think other will do make the efforts. So social loafing occurs when individual in a group exert less efforts than they would when working alone. A CA resisting a new financial regulation due to emotional attachment to traditional method. It's exhibiting which stage of the Kubler-Ross change curve. Denial, bargaining, acceptance, depression. It's denial. For example, when CA refused to adopt a new tax software, saying I don't need it, my old system works fine, that is denial. That is the attachment of emotional attachment to the traditional method. The devil's advocate. The devil's advocate approach in a group decision making help prevent social facilitations, groupthink, social loafing, transformational leadership. It's a groupthink. Group thinking is when a group agrees without a critical thinking. So that the devil's advocate approach in group decision making helps prevent groupthink. According to Levin's change management model, which stage involves reinforcing new behavior. Reinforcing new behavior to ensure the change is sustained. Unfreezing, changing, rephrasing, adapting. That's rephrasing. When leadership style is characterized by a leader adapting their behaviors based on the competence and commitment level of their team members. Situational leadership, transformational leadership, authentic leadership, transactional leadership. It's situational leadership. Psycho capital consists of which four components? Consists of hope, self efficacy, optimism, resilience. Resilience, yes. Confidence, no. Competitiveness, motivations, hope, resilience, optimism, self efficacy. So the answer is B. Which branch of philosophy deals with the nature, scope, and limits of human knowledge? Philosophy. Metaphysics. Metaphysics is a study of reality and existence. Axiology, it's a studies value and ethics. Epistemology, it's a studies knowledge. In Indian epistemology, which of the following is not a valid source of knowledge? Perception, inference, speculation, verbal testimony. It's C, speculation. Uh, Speculation is imagining things. So imagining things is not considered a valid source of knowledge. According to Naya system of logic, which of the following is not a component of a valid inference? Anuman. Proposition, reason, comparison, conclusion. It's comparison. So the answer is C. The theory of truths. That a statement is true if it corresponds with reality. is known as the pragmatic theory, the coherence theory, the correspondence theory, the empirical theory? The answer is C. Which of the following correctly describe anuplabdhi in Indian philosophy? Knowledge derived from comparison, no knowledge obtained from non-existence or absence. Knowledge derived from direct perceptions, no knowledge based on authoritative source. No. So the answer is the ethical principle of Niskam Karma from Bhagavad Gita refers to acting without attachment to the result, accumulating wealth for future needs, always prioritizing personal interests, seeking pleasures above all else. So, Niskam Karma is काम करो फल की चिंता मत करो. So, acting without attachment to the result. Which of the following correctly describe the role of axiology? The study of beauty and aesthetics. No. The study of values, including ethics and aesthetics. The studies of logical reasoning. The study of material world and existence. So, axiology is a study of value, including ethics and aesthetics. Which of the Indian philosophy system is primarily materialistic and rejects the existence of an afterlife or soul? Vedant, Nyaya, Charvaka, Samakya. Which of the four Indian philosophical system is primarily materialistic and rejects the existence of an afterlife? It's Charvaka. In financial decision making, the principle of pratyaksh perception is best applied when pratyaksh is from direct observation. Decisions are based on the direct observation of financial data. Decisions are made purely on assumption. Financial projections are made without verification. One follows other advice without personal analysis. The answer is A. Decisions are based on the direct observation of financial data. The concept of dharma in Indian philosophy signifies the pursuit of health, wealth, the duty and righteousness one must follow, the practice of reunification, the accumulation of power. The concept of dharma in Indian philosophy. It says the duty and righteousness one must follow. So the answer should be B. Which of the following is primary goal of critical thinking in financial decision making? To follow traditional approach without questioning, no, to apply emotions in evaluating arguments, no, to analyze and evaluate information logically and objectively, to prioritize intuitions over logical reasoning. No, so the answer should be C. A fallacy in which a person misrepresents an opponent's argument to make it easier to attack is known as red herring. No, it's distracting from the main issue. Straw man, yes, is misrepresenting an argument to make it easier to attack. So the answer is B. In deductive reasoning, a conclusion. A conclusion is based on probability and assumption. No, it necessarily follows from premise if they are true. Is always uncertain and subject to change. No, cannot be tested for logical validity. No, in deductive reasoning, a conclusion is necessarily follows from the premise, that is assumption, if they are true. So the answer is B. Which of the following statement is an example of inductive reasoning? All accountant follow ethical standards. Therefore, John an accountant follows ethical standards. The past five audit revealed financial misstatement. Therefore, future audit might also reveal misstatement. If a company complies with all accounting standards, then its financial report will be accurate. Since all manager must approve financial report, the CFO must also approve them. So, inductive reasoning. All accountant follow ethical standard. Therefore, John and accountant follow ethical standards. No, the past five audits revealed financial statement. The past five audit revealed financial misstatements. Therefore, future audit might also reveal misstatement. So this is example of inductive reasoning. The fallacy where one assumes that because two events occurs together, one must have caused the other is called. One assumes that because two events occur together, one must have caused the other is also called. False cause, post hoc, ad hominem, slippery slope, false analogy. So the answer is false cause. It's wrongly assuming caution from correlations. Ad hominem is attacking the person. So it's not argument. Slippery slope is assuming one step will lead to an extreme odd source. And false analogy is making a bad comparison between unrelated things. So the answer should be in an argument, the premise, the assumption, provide support for the conclusion, question for the validity of the conclusion, no, make the arguments more emotional, no, distract from logical reasoning. So in an argument, the premise, that is assumption, serve to provide support for conclusion. So the answer should be which of the following is an example of circular reasoning? The financial report is reliable because the financial report is reliable because the accountant team says so, and accounting team is reliable because they are prepare accurate report. If an auditor finds errors in company's financial statement, then the company must have internal control weakness. Some accountants are unethical, therefore accountant as a profession has ethical concern. A company reports a profit because it has increased revenue and decreased cost. So, example of circular reasoning. Financial report is reliable because the accounting team says so, and the accounting team is reliable, and the accounting team is reliable because they prepare accurate report. For example, I am trustworthy because I always tell the truth, and you should believe me because I am trustworthy. That's it. Financial report is reliable because the accountant team says so, and the accounting team is reliable because they prepare accurate reports. So the answer should be circular. It's called circular reasoning. What is the key characteristics of sound deduct, deductive arguments? It follows a general to a specific approach and guarantees the truth of the conclusion if premises are true. Yes, it relies on emotional appeals. No, it follows general to a specific approach and guarantee the truth of the conclusion if premises are true. It relies on emotional appeals to persuade an audience. No, it uses past experience to predict future events. No, it focuses only on statistical probabilities. No, the answer should be A. The fallacy where an argument is based on assumption that lacks sufficient evidence. Assumption that lacks sufficient evidence. Hasty generalizations, equivocation, false dilemma, appeal to ignorance. The fallacy over an argument is based on an assumption that lacks sufficient evidence. It's called hasty generalization. Critical thinking helps in financial decision making. Critical thinking helps in financial decision making by accepting information without questioning its validity, applying a structured reasoning to evaluate financial arguments, ignoring counter arguments to reach quicker conclusion, relying on gut feelings. No, so the answer is B. Which of the following best describe the concept of virtue ethics in professional decision making? Ethical decision should ethical decision should be based on strict rules and regulation. No, the morality of an action depends on its consequences alone. No, the ethics is about cultivative good character trait like honesty and integrity. Personal benefits should be prioritized. No, so the answer is C. In financial decision making, the anchoring bias refers to ignoring new information and sticking to the past information data. No, relying too heavily on the first piece of information encountered. Yes, overestimating personal knowledge and skills in finance. No, it's overconfidence, being overly cautious and avoiding risk taking. No, so the answer is B. Anchoring bias is relying too heavily on the first piece of information, and then on the basis of we take a decision. Which of the following leadership style focus on employee motivation and ethical values rather than just task completion? Transactional leadership, no. Transformational leadership, yes. So the answer is B. According to cognitive dissonance theory, what happens when a CA faces conflicting ethical and financial interest? They always prioritize financial interest. No, they experience psychological discomfort and attempt to reduce the inconsistency. They make decision based on intuition rather than ethics. No, they ignore ethical consideration. No. So the answer is B. The concept of Purusarth in Indian ethics refers to the fundamental duties of financial professional. No, the four aim of human life: dharma, arth, kam, and moksha. Purusarth it's balancing uh, dharma, arth, kam, moksha. So the role of emotion in ethical decision making, no, a specific type of financial reporting. No, so Purusarth is B. Which ethical principle is associated with Kant's deontology theory in professional ethics? Maximizing overall happiness, no, acting according to duty, regardless of the consequences, making decision based on personal interest, no, ignoring ethical consideration. No. So the answer should be B. In financial auditing, the sunk cost fallacy occurs when in financial auditing, the sunk cost fallacy occurs when accountants make decision based on future potential earnings, no previous investment, unduly influence current decision making. Financial analysis ignores past transaction. No ethical concerns are ignored in financial reporting. So the answer is B. According to the Bhagavad Gita, the principle of Niskam Karma suggests that ethical action should be performed without attachment to the result. Ethical decisions should be based purely on emotions. No financial success justify any professional action. No, every action must be strictly rule based without considering intent. No, so Niskam Karma is ethical actions should be performed without attachment to the result. Which psychological bias lead to overestimating one's own ability to predict financial trend? Confirmation bias, no. Overconfidence. Hindsight bias, availability heuristics, no. So the answer is B. A CA who practices professional skepticism in an audit is most likely to assume that all financial statements are accurate, no question inconsistency, and seek sufficient audit evidence. Yes, trust management reports without verification, no. Ignore potential fraud, no. Professional skepticism is questioning mind, question inconsistency, and seek sufficient audit evidence. Which of the following best describe the role of emotional intelligence? Enhancing tax planning skills, no. Improving financial reporting accuracy, no. Strengthening ethical decision making and client interaction, reducing the need of regulatory compliance, no. So the answer is as per Levin's change management model. What is the first step? What is the first step in implementing organizational change? Rephrasing, unphrasing, transitioning, reforming. So it's B, unphrasing. Unphrasing is preparing people for change. In social cognitive theory, what play a central role in shaping behavior? Observational learning and self-efficacy. Yes. Rigid adherence. No. Financial incentive only. No. Independent decision making without external influence. No. And self-efficacy. So the answer is A. The fundamental objective of the integrity principle of in professional ethics for CA, ensuring tax compliance, no. Avoiding errors in calculation, no. Upholding honesty and truthfulness in professional work, reducing documentation. No. So the answer is C. Which one falls under the scope of pratyaksh? Pratyaksh is direct perceptions. In Indian epistemology, knowledge gained through direct perceptions, knowledge inferred through logical reasoning, no. From a scriptural source, no. Through comparison. No. So the answer is A. According to band cognitive theory, what is the key determinant of individual's ability to perform a task successfully? Level of education, no. Social environment, no. Self efficacy. What is the primary focus on Hexco personality model? Financial decision making, no. Six-dimensional trait analysis, Hexago, including honesty, humility. So the answer is B. Which leadership theory align with fostering ethical practice? Autocratic leadership theory, no. Transformational leadership theory, transactional leadership theory, laissez faire leadership. So it's B, transformational. Which ethical approaches align best with Niskam Karm? In Bhagavad Gita, consequentialism, deontology, virtue ethics, ethical relativism. So Niskam Karm is virtue ethics, focuses on good characters and moral actions. So the answer should be C. As per professional ethics, what should a CA when encountering a conflict of interest? Encountering conflict of interest in an audit engagement, ignore if does not affect financial reporting. No. Inform the client and proceed with the engagement. No. Disclose it and follow professional guidelines to resolve. withdraw from engagement. No. As per professional ethics, what should a chartered accountant when encountering a conflict of interest in an audit engagement? What should disclose it and follow professional guideline to resolve it? So the answer is C.